her location. Brooke?
Doug, yes, you can't see the location where the fire is or where it was. It was right around the corner from us. And photographer Heidi Teal and I were watching it with the firefighters. They were so frustrated because, as we said, their water pump overheated. They couldn't have access to any water, even though it was surrounding the house, to get the flames out. They still don't know what the cause was. They think maybe it might have been electrical, but at this point, who knows? We just ran into a gentleman by the name of Les Vogt. He's been kind enough to take us out on his boat all day long, and you are just back from this area. You've seen your house today. Tell me what it's like right now.
It's pretty well flooded, everything is. My floor in my family room is all buckled up. The kitchen, I just came from it, and it was buckled. And the living room is starting to get a buckle in it. I assume it's from the water from the basement, but it's pretty much a mess all in all.
Oh, I can imagine. Let's take a look out here. This, believe me, is just a small sample of it. You can see how bad it is, and it doesn't look like it's going down. And just a little while ago, they were still evacuating some holdouts who refused to leave. Did you see folks still in their homes? You're just back from that area in your boat.
Yeah, most of them are out. There's a few of them still waiting, but probably about this time of hour, most of them are probably wanting to get out. So while we're here, we'll just get them out if they need it. We'll give them a hand. They're on the porch and holler at us. We'll get them out.
I know you have quite a bit of losses, and there's one that's really a treasure to you. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I got a 1955 Chevy that was in Carl Casper's show last weekend, and it was totally redone. It took me 9 years to do it, won second place with it, and now it was totally underwater. So I guess I just start all over again.
That's quite an optimistic spirit. And you say, I noticed that you and other folks are helping one another. Your neighbors are really helping each other.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, you have to. I mean, if you look down, you're going to hurt yourself. But we just smile and say, what the heck? You know, there's nothing you can do. Matter of fact, while I was out there in the water, I called Domino's to see if they'd send me a pizza. In 30 minutes or less, it's free. So what the heck, you know?
Yes, and Les told us that was about 2 hours ago, so he's still waiting for his free pizza. And as you can see, people, it's remarkable the good spirits that folks are keeping out here. And a little side note, this is how caring people are out here. We kind of got soaked this afternoon. A woman, I don't even know who she is, brought us some dry socks, so we're very grateful for that. And our hearts really do go out to these folks because they've lost quite a bit.
All right, Brooke, thank you so much. And it is, you know, you forget if you're sitting at home and you're safe and you're warm that there are people who really are having trouble and got a lot of damage.
Certainly are, and Kentuckiana has suffered its fourth casualty as well from the flood of '97. 16-year-old Rashawn Willis died after his minivan was swept off Eastham Road last night in the J-Town area. Emergency officials had not closed that road. The News Channel's George Sells tonight has more on the search and the discovery of Rashawn Willis.
So you guys are going to be on the left bank?
Search teams are on the Chenoweth Run Creek early. Their focus, this minivan washed yards off the road just before 1 this morning. The road had not been closed.
I suppose so. In the dark, it's very hard to tell sometimes. I know they were advising people last night a lot that really be careful at night because it's very hard to see what areas are washed out and where the water is high on the roadway.
So the teams and the dogs are prepared to cover every inch, but it would only take an hour. He's located, they say, about a half-mile downstream. The faces of arriving family members tell the story from there.
So it was really a tragic thing, but he was apparently a real good boy, and they were out here this morning when they learned about the fact that they'd found him and everything, and so it's just a real tragedy.
Residents say this creek has gotten high before, but not high enough to cause this.
It was about 87 or 88 it got up, but I don't think it was this high. This is the highest I've ever seen since I've been living here.
But it was high enough to sweep a van off a road, to sweep away the life of a Louisville teen trying to get home to his family through the worst flood most here have ever seen. George Sells, Kentuckiana's News Channel, WHAS 11.
Now, coroner's officials say Willis was killed by the rushing water, not by the trauma of the accident.
Now we want to go back up in the sky. Sky 11, and Julie Kenny continuing to survey the scene tonight as the evening hours move ahead. Julie?
Again, yes, we wanted to kind of back away from that particular neighborhood and give you the big picture, the big scope. what we're doing is flying north, crossing the outer loop, and we're still in the Fairdale area, and you can just see there is water everywhere, and it's not going down. The outer loop is underwater. There's a portion of New Cut Road where it crosses not far from the outer loop. That is underwater rather. Not that this is deterring motorists. There's still some folks who think they're going to be able to make it through, and there are some little reminders. There you see there's a white car that only the roof is sticking out, a white vehicle. This is probably not a good idea. Fairdale is just not getting a break because the water has gone down somewhat in these subdivisions, but the ditches and other drainage outlets that caused the problem in the first place are still as full as they were when I was here yesterday, as a matter of fact. And now we're starting to see, as I mentioned, some traces of some sort of, I don't know if it's oil or gasoline, but it's in there, it's in the water. You can see that telltale rainbow stain that it creates, and it could just be from some of the vehicles that have gone through here. The National Guard has had what we are calling the Oshkosh vehicle, a great big kind of people mover now, that it has been evacuating folks. Still some boats that people are using to get belongings and stuff to New Cut Road, which is much drier, and to one of the shelters, which is not far from here. So the rush is still on because, once again, the sun is falling and the temperature is falling as well, and this is not the night that you want to be spending in a flood-soaked house. Back to you guys.
All right, Julie, thank you.
You can really see that fuel stream. It looks like a steady stream from one home there, a corner of the house.
Reed was saying that it could be perhaps the gas from the cars that have been submerged, that's gotten in the water, and it just kind of floats on top. So again, as Dr. Rose said at the news conference at DES, do not get in the water. I mean, if you have a cut or you get out there and you get infected, the water is dirty, so stay out of it now. Since last night, the National Guard has been helping out with cleanup and rescue efforts.
Our Stephanie Collins spent the day with guardsmen in the Confederate Acres neighborhood of New Cut Road where that fire occurred earlier, and she takes us now on a rescue mission.
The first steps to safety. The National Guard arrives, and the Edringtons and Grants are ready, and relieved help is here.
There you go. There you go.
Neighbors reach out to help one another, making it through the night together, hoping and praying together that the rescue would come in time.
We came over here when it started flooding because their house was drier than ours, and we put what we could up on the furniture. Everything else is gone.
It's an adventure to these children, not fully realizing what their parents know, how quick the water came, how they spent a night not knowing if they'd make it.
Unbelievable. You know, you see those reports where people are in Mississippi and they sit in their houses going, well, there's nothing you can do to sit there and watch it get taken.
Neighbors wave, and they wave back, safe inside this National Guard Hewitt, not even looking back to see what's left of their homes.
We still have hope. You know, everything will be okay. We can replace it.
Everybody move up front.
There's enough room for one more family.
Here she comes.
This child's tears will soon turn to smiles in the comfort of strangers. They leave as refugees and arrive safe, a child and dog united on dry land. In southwest Jefferson County, Stephanie Collins, Kentuckiana's News Channel, WHAS 11.
We want to give you the latest rundown now on the several areas that have been extremely hard hit by the flood waters. In Kentucky, the towns of Shepherdsville to the south of Louisville, Boston, Kentucky, also to the south of us, and then West Point over to the west of us with, of course, the Salt River and the Ohio River right on the corners of that town, all experiencing severe flooding problems tonight. Those towns are being affected by the Salt River predominantly, which is expected to reach or surpass flood stage later today. Also flooded is the Wabash River. That's affecting towns along the Indiana and Illinois state line. Frankfort, Kentucky, by the way, our state capital, is seeing some flooding as well as the Kentucky River approaches flood stages. And later in the week, the Ohio River on our back door could be reaching its flood peak. Flooding is already evident along River Road. The bad thing about the flooding along the rivers, flooding in Okolona, Fairdale, and New Cut Road areas could conceivably get a lot worse.
Now we want to tell you what we've done here at WHAS-TV. We have teamed up with the American Red Cross and 84 WHAS to bring relief to flood victims.
We're calling it the Storm Team Care Team. On your screen right now is the number you can call to give donations, cash donations, 582-7729. We've got a staff from the Red Cross standing by right now, and Louisville Tonight Live's Kirby Adams is across the hall from us in our Studio H, which is the home of the Crusade for Children. Kirby, you're in a fitting atmosphere, I'd say, tonight.
Oh, Doug, the spirit of giving is alive and well in Kentuckiana, and the evidence of that is right behind me. The phones start ringing every time we give out that number. We are, as you mentioned, generating funds to be donated to the victims of Flood 97, and the phone number to call is 582-7729. There's also an address that you can write to, and I'm going to give that to you in just a moment, but we've had a number of challenges come on since the phone number's been given out, and I wanted to go to the phones, folks who are answering the phones right now, to find out what these challenges are so that all of you can get in on them. Could you tell us real quickly what your challenge is?
Just a moment, please. Thank you. Yes, the challenge that we have is from Bruce Woods. He's challenging all the letter carriers in the greater Louisville area to match his pledge of $25.
Terrific. All right. And now we have another challenge right over here. Can you hang on for just a second there on the phone? Your challenge.
We have a challenge, a $100 challenge for Mr. Mike Scherzinger, who is a builder in the Louisville area. He challenges all the builders or realtors in the Louisville areas to match this pledge.
Of $100?
Of $100.
All right.
We also have one for $10 from the classified employees of school system of Jefferson County.
All right, now here's also another very interesting challenge. We had a doctor call in and donate $500. Then he called back and he said he would donate another $500 if other physicians would call in and also donate. Now, do they have to donate $500 as well, Amy?
He would like them to donate $500.
All right.
We also have Roger Hayes from White Oak Homes, and he's challenging all builders in the Home Builders Association.
All right, so lots of challenges out there, and we should remind you that this is all tax deductible, so when you do pledge money here to help the flood victims of 97, you'll be able to deduct that from your taxes. So once again, Gene and Doug, back to you, and the spirit of giving is alive and well in Kentuckiana.
All right. I'll tell you, after what we've been through, Gene, it may sound hokey, corny, I don't know, but it's a great scene over there, seeing all those phones ringing.
It's a wonderful sound, the sound of those phones ringing. So all you teachers, letter carriers, and doctors, get on the phone and meet that pledge. All right, we're going to be back with more of our Storm Team Flood 97 coverage in a moment. We're going to show you some pictures from southern Indiana now. This is from this morning on the ground. This is a mobile home park. We'll be back in a moment. There's the number to call to donate to flood victims. We'll be back in a moment.